Kia ora koutou katoa from Aotearoa, New Zealand. We're meeting today with guests online from all around the world to witness what is a very significant milestone in the ongoing sustainable development of Wellington, the capital city of Aotearoa, New Zealand, and in the history of the Milan Urban Food Policy Pact. There are a number of special guests I want to acknowledge and thank for joining us on this occasion. Wellington's sister city, Canberra, messed that up. Wellington's sister city, Sydney, sorry, and our special friend, Councillor Jess Miller. Sorry, my apologies, Jess. We have so many sister cities. The Vice Mayor of the City of Milan, Anna Scavuzzo. Members of the Milan Urban Food Policy Pact Secretariat, my friend and colleague, Councillor, Environmental and Social Champion, Councillor Laurie Foon. Fellow Wellington City Councillors who unreservedly support this initiative and the city's social and environmental actions. Members of Parliament, representatives from Wellington's many regional food security initiatives, such as the Aotearoa Food Policy Network, the Sustainable Food Network, and our Community Gardens Network, and Wellington residents and our global audience. I now want to offer a karakia, which if this is the first time you've been addressed by one, it's a prayer in the tradition of our First Nation people, the Maori. It's a spoken prayer offered to ensure a favourable outcome to important events such as this. I'll say it in te reo Māori and then translate into English. E whakawhete ana mō tēnei rā. E whakamaumahara ki ngā tonga tuku iho. Ngā maunga, ngā awa, ngā moana, ngā rākau, ngā manu. He tiritiri mō tātou katoa. O tātou wairua he hanga tangata kotahi. Kia mahitahi ai mō te ao ho tino pai rawa. Amini. And I'll just go through that in English. We give thanks for this day. We will respect our heritage, the mountains, the rivers, the oceans, the plants, and the wildlife. We will share our views without anger, build on friendships, and work together for a better world. Amen. The Pact and its importance to the world. The promise this day of a better world. It is on such days, and this is one of those that you will find uplifting and defining moments in history of a city, a nation, and the planet we call home. We create a positive future one step at a time. In the weekend just past, our country has enjoyed such a defining moment. Tens of thousands of New Zealanders, popularly known as the team of 5 million, rolled up their sleeves in record numbers for a vaccine shot in our battle against COVID-19. In the defining moment of this day, Wellington is joining the Milan Urban Food Pact as a signatory city. We're embracing the need for action. Population growth, climate change, the intense pressure that we humans are putting on species and ecosystems to get our food and resources and security of food supply. We know that we need to change. We need to increasingly understand how to scale the process by which we can transform the way we eat, produce, and dispose of our food. The Milan Urban Food Pact's community of knowledge and its food system framework will support Wellington's drive for urban food sustainability. We need to do this together, to learn from and be inspired by each other. While we will today become the first New Zealand city to join the Food Pact, I look forward to other New Zealand cities joining us and working with our New Zealand and Pacific whānau or family, and the Pact's growing global family of 211 cities that represent 350 million plus inhabitants. Time is often labelled as the undisputed leveller of supposedly lofty ideals, and it's therefore highly significant that the commitment made by the 100 founding cities to the Milan Urban Food Policy Pact in October 2015 has become one of the most important legacies of the Milan Expo and has seen the Pact membership more than double in the years since. Its vision to launch an international protocol aimed at tackling food-related issues at the urban level, to be adopted by as many world cities as possible, is visionary and will be integral to any climate action stemming out of the likes of COP26. In becoming a Pact signatory, Wellington readily joins the international framework for urban food systems based on the principles of sustainability and social justice. COVID has shown us the fragility of our supply chains, uneven wealth distribution, and just how thin the fabric of tolerance can be. But I'm hugely heartened by examples of networks, communities, and individuals coming together as we did over this past weekend to shine in this time of need. How will Wellington contribute to the vision of the Pact? I want to share with you some of the things that are happening in Wellington. In early December, our Sustainable Food Action Plan goes to Council for adoption. Shelter and food security are key areas of Wellington City Council's welfare response. In the first fortnight of lockdown of March-April 2020, we provided 15,874 kilos of food to 59 different groups, equating to almost 45,500 meals. Council readily acknowledges that a lack of access to good nutrition impacts Wellingtonians' ability to live, work, play, and thrive. We have multiple community organisations doing wonderful food rescue work over many years, getting food that would otherwise go to waste to the least well off in our community. Later this year, our Community Garden Open Day will showcase our 20+ community gardens and the growing scene of composters, food innovators, and entrepreneurs. Next year, events such as Local Food Week and Apiculture New Zealand's Be Aware Month and local food festivals celebrate the role of the city's restaurants and cafes, food security providers, and local and regional farmers that they play in our growing sustainable food system. And it's exciting also to see the emergence over several years of food producers, honey, nut butter, chocolate, and beer right in the heart of our capital city. Wellington is looking to expand on its active networks of food rescue and redistribution teams, our food economy entrepreneurs, food festivals, food and nutrition security providers, cooking schools, and our food waste warriors. We're trialling a community composting hubs project and looking forward with much excitement to the development of a rongoa garden, a traditional Maori healing garden with native plants recognised for their medicinal properties. Today's signing is about aligning our resilience planning with international best practices. Our Sustainable Action Plan will be incorporated into the way we approach urban design and many aspects of our strategy and development that focuses on improved social, health, economic, and environmental outcomes. This will be a priority for us as we want to provide a solid base for future generations to build on. And in this work, we look forward to sharing ideas with our fellow Pact members, such as our sister city, Sydney. And it gives me great pleasure now to welcome from our sister city, Sydney, Councillor Jess Miller. Now, Jess is a champion of the Milan Food Policy Pact and a major promoter of New South Wales food security strategy and the need for robust local food systems. Good afternoon, Jess.
Good afternoon, everybody. And I'm joining you today from the land of the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation, land which was never ceded, and whose elders and traditions and customs I continue to learn about and reconcile with. So congratulations, firstly, on your signing of the Milan Urban Food Policy Pact. As you mentioned, it's a really fantastic initiative. It's a global initiative that not only recognises a whole lot of work that's been done within communities already, but at this very specific point of time, it really recognises this incredible opportunity that we have to work together for a safer, fairer, and more resilient food system. Part of the reason why Sydney was a signatory of the Milan Urban Food Policy Pact was that only 20% of the food that people within regional Sydney eat actually now comes from Sydney itself. Now, this is a real frailty in the food system that we're a part of, and one that is really important to recognise. COVID has obviously put our food system under an incredible amount of strain. It's highlighted not only how difficult it is for cities to be the carers of so many people within our communities, but it also highlights the vulnerabilities within the broader logistics, distribution, and growth models that we currently have. One of the things that we've really been looking at over this really difficult phase is trying to ensure that at the City of Sydney, we're not only focused on being reactive. So one of the things that we had to do immediately due to COVID was really ensure that we were able to get food to hungry people. We invested millions of dollars into food providers. And while that dealt with the immediate issue, what we have failed to do up until now is to stop or to prevent these kind of moments and these acute shocks from emerging and being something that are really difficult to do with. So I'm going to be very honest with you, like while the City of Sydney have taken some initiatives toward embedding the principles of the Milan Food Pact into our strategic plans, there's so much more that we need to do. And one of the positive things about the pandemic is that it's really fast-tracked thinking about this. So already we're some of the ways that we're embedding some of these principles in the work that we're doing and have done. Like you, Wellington, we're very keen on ensuring that we're dealing with our food waste adequately. We've had a very successful trial of kitchen caddies within our residential homes and apartments, and trying to get impact at scale to divert this food waste into renewable energy. One of the things that we've really been looking at is how to maximise the rooftop space within our very dense urban areas. So embedded into our greening strategy as we move forward are some very clear directives that in time will mandate green space and ideally food production on some of these spaces that we can no longer afford to just leave empty or have, air conditioning units onto. So that's really exciting. We've also been establishing really important relationships with our community partners. Social enterprises like Too Good not only provide food, but they also give at-risk women opportunities to engage in local food economies, ensuring that they're not only more financially resilient, but they're also getting that social resilience and sense of self and identity that's so important. Likewise, we have supported the Food Lab. Food Lab Sydney is based on the Detroit model, and that's all about ensuring that we have a robust local food economy that not only deals with businesses and our residents within the City of Sydney, but also builds those bridges and connections further out toward metropolitan Sydney, which is critically important given that we're getting a brand new airport out in Western Sydney, and that over time will become a major food export channel for Sydney and probably broader Australia. As you embark on your epic journey, I think it's really important that we as a sister city continue to learn from one another, that we start having conversations about innovation, technology, looking at creative ways of ensuring that we are not only enabling impact at scale, but also thinking more creatively about how to build relationships within our regions. So we very, very much look forward to what Wellington has in store. We've got some great examples that we'd be more than happy to share with you. And likewise, we will be watching very closely at what you're doing and hopefully replicating, borrowing ideas and working with you in future. So once again, congratulations on all the work that you're doing on signing the Pact. And no doubt the conversation will continue.
Jess, thank you very much for your warm welcome to the Milan Urban Food Pact. And it was great to hear about what you're doing in Sydney, and we look forward to continuing to share the ideas that you and our other 211 other Urban Food Pact members have got, and to be able to share those ideas and be able to put those into action. So thank you, and we look forward also to ongoing dialogue at the upcoming Milan Urban Food Policy Pact 7th Global Forum, and we're going to do through the rest of this year into early December. Now, it's my honour to welcome the Vice Mayor of the City of Milan, Anna Scavuzzo, whose expertise and delegation is to coordinate for her city the Milan food policy and to make the Milanese food system even more sustainable. This work has won awards and has been recognised in case studies at national and international levels. And also the fact that you have 211 and shortly to be 212 cities which are involved in that pact says a lot for the initiative that you've taken. Anna, welcome. We look forward to your words.
Dear Mayor Foster, dear councillors, ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to take part in such an important moment for you and for us on the occasion of the signing of the Milan Urban Food Policy Pact by the City of Wellington. I am Anna Scavuzzo, Vice Mayor of Milan, and on behalf of Mayor Sala, Chair of the Milan Urban Food Policy Pact, I am extremely pleased that Wellington has decided to become part of our network of over 200 cities. Launched as a main heritage of Expo Milan 2015, the Milan Pact is a global commitment of mayors from around the world that considers food as an entry point for the sustainable development of growing cities. Thanks to its holistic approach towards the urban food systems, the Pact's framework of action represents a very tangible tool, providing 37 recommended actions covering the main aspects of the food system, from governance to sustainable diets, from food production to reducing food waste. Based on its local environment and political priorities, every city can decide to focus on targeted recommended actions and can assess its progress through a dedicated monitoring framework. Over this 6 years, the Pact has kept growing not only in terms of membership, but also of activities that cities have been developing, exchanging knowledge toward common goals. We pursue this objective, for example, through the regional and global fora, a fundamental moment of cooperation among signatory cities and regional global stakeholders. I take the opportunity to invite you as new signatory city to join us online during the upcoming Global Forum in Barcelona. Another important tool of cooperation is the Milan Pact Awards. Every year, we collect best practices from our cities and an international jury of expert awards the most innovative ones. To date, we have gathered around 400 practices that represent our common knowledge. We strongly invite you to participate in the upcoming call that will be launched next year, so you will have the chance to showcase your interesting food policies. Even during the COVID-19 crisis, the Pact community has shown its unity. Indeed, as you may know, the pandemic has severely hit the urban food systems. However, since the beginning, we have been committed to supporting each other, sharing knowledge on the different measures undertaken to face, adapt, and mitigate food system shocks. This has been possible thanks to the Milan Pact talks. Of course, the climate issue is on the top of our agenda too. We are aware of the key importance of addressing the food-climate nexus, and it's clear that we should transform now the way we eat, produce, and dispose of food worldwide. This has pushed us to focus for the next Global Forum in Barcelona on the theme Growing Resilience, Sustainable Food to Tackle the Climate Emergency. Let me conclude by saying that the signing of Wellington is an exciting milestone for us, considering that it's the first New Zealand city to join our network. I am sure that you will inspire other cities in the region to get involved, taking forward their concerns and priorities. The more you give in terms of participation and knowledge sharing, the more you will receive back. We are looking forward to starting working with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Anna, for your warm welcome. And it's now an appropriate time for me to introduce our own Wellington City Councillor, Laurie Foon. Laurie is a passionate supporter of circular economy principles, always full of great ideas, and as a champion for sustainability in local business. Laurie is the Deputy Chair of Pururo Tahua, our Finance and Performance Committee, and Chair of the Wellington Region Waste Management and Minimisation Plan Joint Committee. That's a bit of a mouthful. Her work in promoting sustainability and waste minimisation in particular is second to none, and it's my pleasure to have her with us today to mark this defining moment in the city's journey to a sustainable food future. Over to you, Laurie.
Ngā mihi nui, Mayor Foster. Tēnā koutou katoa. Greetings to you all in Te Reo Māori. Kia ora haere mai to the Councillor Jess Miller from the City of Sydney, thank you for sharing your words with us today. And also to Anna Scavuzzo from the Vice Mayor of the City of Milan. How exciting. It is a very proud moment for me to be here to support Mayor Foster to sign the Milan Urban Food Policy Pact for Wellington, and that we are the first in New Zealand to do so. I actually started my career in fashion, but over the last 7 years, I've moved into being a grassroots, I'd say campaigner or champion for a circular and sustainable food system for Wellington because of all of the undeniable benefits that it brings. My experience is that unlike fashion, good local, ethical and sustainable food gives so much back to the community well-being and to our local economy, and is growing and is about moving to a low carbon future. There is a growing movement in Wellington, as in the rest of the world. This movement is bursting with young people, old people wanting to share knowledge and wisdom, people challenging inequality through growing food, and also in climate change activism, because being part of a good sustainable food movement is something people feel like they can do. Sustainable urban food is part of the solution to solving many of our wicked problems. Growing and sharing food reduces isolation by connecting to our neighbourhoods. Growing and producing local food helps our economic well-being. Growing local food helps with the sustainability of our planet. And not throwing food away, but seeing it as a resource helps to replenish our soils and to decrease our growing waste challenges. And of course, resilience. A focus on growing local food supports us in the wake of climate change, economic shocks and growth, which we've already spoken about today. But we're lucky here in Wellington because Wellingtonians love good food. We have a great community of food producers for our markets, communities of growers and collaborators for our community gardens, lots of great food businesses who bring ethical and sustainable practices to their business values, and a supportive community that loves buying these products, and tons of us who love eating these products. So connecting all this up is one of the next best things we can do to validate all the work that's actually going on. And so by signing up to the Milan Urban Food Policy Pact, we are doing this. And this will enable Wellington to advocate and actually unleash a good food movement at our local, regional and national levels. And share, as we talked about earlier today as well, our learning experiences, the information we gather, collaborations and successes and challenges. So, and just fitting in with our vision, so our sustainable food plan, which will be launched in December, has a vision that all Wellingtons have resilient access to good food produced in a way that respects people and our planet now and in the future. We've got a strong action around Indigenous food, that we take a te ao Māori view in the way that we enable Wellingtonians to experience our cultural food practices. But also our actions will enable Wellingtonians to say they are eating more good food and drink that is sustainably produced in our region, that they are eating well no matter what their circumstances are, and that we are creating far less waste when we eat, and that we will be spending more time growing and sharing food in their neighbourhoods. That sounds like something I'm really keen to buying into. So thank you so much, Milan. For all of you have worked on the Milan Urban Food Policy Pact. It is an opportunity for Wellington that we are so excited to add to our city vision, which is about being a connected, inclusive, sustainable and creative city. So I now invite Mayor Foster to sign on behalf of Wellington, the city's Milan Urban Food Pact acceptance letter.
Thank you, Laurie. I think I should probably read what the Urban Food Policy Pact letter of subscription says. I, the undersigned, representing the City of Wellington, hereby declare the following. I've examined the text of the Milan Urban Food Policy Pact and submitted the text to internal procedures for approval, if applicable. I agree with the principles and pledge to implement the commitments stated in the Pact. I undersign the Pact on behalf of the municipality, Wellington City, and the Wellington City Council I represent. Signed by myself, Andy Foster, Mayor of Wellington, dated this day, 18th, 10th, 2021. Just in closing, I'm going to say just a few words here. I'm inspired by a Desmond Tutu quote. One of the greatest gifts that we can give to another generation is our experience and our wisdom. And I've no doubt that Wellington will excel in facilitating local, national, and regional awareness, shared understanding of issues and solutions, and as an incubator for innovation of successful approaches in shaping equitable urban food systems. And I'd like to finish with a Māori whakatauki, or saying, He taonga no te whenua, me hoki anō ki te whenua. What is given by the land should return to the land. I look forward to joining you in the near future so that we can share more of our experiences and knowledge. Until then, from Wellington, I wish you